I was born and raised Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I've been in Lincoln, went to school here, live here. And over this last year, a lot has impacted the community, from the pandemic to just social unrest, to how the election has divided a lot of people and has really put a lot of people in the community questioning what's really happening. I know for me personally, the pandemic really hit home for me, because it let me know that COVID is real. Family have been hospitalized because of it. Had a best friend that passed away from it. And so it's something that I feel strongly about. If there's a way for us to fight and to stand together and to win this fight, it's something that I'm willing to do. And I'm willing to accept that personal responsibility so that I can step up toward this social responsibility, not to continue to divide us, but hopefully to bring us together, to unite us together so that we can be back together and come back together stronger, as we always do as Americans.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of what you've heard or read or experienced that's made you question the vaccine, or concerns that friends, family, other people in our community are facing when deciding whether or not to get the vaccine?
There's so many voices out there in the news, social media, that really provide a lot of wrong opinions. It increases people's skepticism in terms of, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, or, which way to take. Personally, I've been relying on the experts, the doctors, the pharmacists, websites that provide, information that will actually help us to take a stand and fight, versus just to sit back and just do nothing. I'm a firm believer that nothing changes if nothing changes. And I believe that the change starts with us. And that change for me is to get vaccinated. That change for me is to protect my family. That change for me is to use my role to be a role model to help others understand that sometimes we have to do what we need to do to stand together and not continue to let so many things separate us as people. And right now, the vaccine is a solution. The vaccine is an opportunity for us to come back and stay in the game.
Is there anything that you would tell someone that is questioning whether the vaccine is right for them, or questioning whether those that provide the vaccine have our best interests as a community in heart?
For the community, I get it. We all have different attitudes about whether or not we should get vaccinated. And our attitude is our choice, as my good friend always likes to tell me. But we win or lose by how we choose. And by choosing to get vaccinated, we're taking a step closer to creating a new norm that will bring us back together. There are so many things that have divided us as a community. There are so many things that have separated us as a community. The vaccine should not be one of those things to separate us. The vaccine should be an opportunity to bring us back together, to bring us back stronger, to creating this new norm for us to be back family, to see our family, to connect. And I understand normal will never be the same. But just like anything that happens in life, this is one way for us to adapt. This is one way for us to be able to stay in the game and do what we need to do, not only for ourselves, but for one another.
What was it like when you went to get your vaccine, from an emotional and everything that the last year has been like? What was that like to get your first dose of your vaccine?
The first time I got my first shot, it was very emotional. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. A year ago, I really didn't see any hope. I really didn't see a solution besides staying at home and just completely staying away from people, creating our own bubble. But as soon as there were talks about the vaccine, as soon as the vaccine was available, and it started with, those who are at high risk, and then the age brackets. And then when it got to my age bracket, and I got that response, I got that email, it was a very emotional yet grateful time for me, especially a time, an opportunity for me to do something that will not only help me, but to help my family and to protect others so that we can all fight together. Um, I'm not old, I'm not young, but I know there are others that are relying on me to do my part. And one of the ways that I can do my part is to take that step toward being vaccinated, just like wearing masks, just like, staying 6 feet, from people as much as possible. This is another way for us to protect those that are at higher risk. And I feel like, when I had that opportunity to get vaccinated, it was a very emotional time because to me, I was making progress.
What do you think it'll be like if more and more people decide to get the vaccine for our Lincoln community? How will that change things, going forward in a month, 6 months, a year from now?
If more and more people can get vaccinated, more and more people will get back to laughing together. We'll get back to celebrating together. We'll get back to playing sports. We'll get back to doing all of the things that keep us, that make us feel like a community. And the vaccine is just one way, another way for us to get back to doing the things that make us a community, get back to doing the things that we need to do to stand together, especially during a time when there are so many things that are still separating us and dividing us. Here's an opportunity for us to come together and be united and come back strong. That's what this campaign is all about, is to come back strong. But we have to trust and rely on the right resources. We can't believe all of the hype on social media, but to rely on the experts, the doctors, the pharmacists. This is what it's all about as a community. If we truly, truly want to be stronger, we have to do our part and not just take the vaccine as a personal responsibility, but a social responsibility for one another and for our youngins, for our older. We must take advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you so much for being such a vocal advocate for deciding for yourself, making the decision, and then sharing it with the community so that more people can learn from you and from your experience. Because I think that as more and more people hear what it's like for those that went through that they'll decide whether or not it's right for them and hopefully get the vaccine. And then, the comeback, like you said, will start with us and we'll be able to get back to normal. And I loved how you said, get back to laughing together. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of this effort. And thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you. And again, nothing changes if nothing changes. The comeback starts with us. Let's take that step toward winning by standing together, by being together, so we can laugh together and connect together and hug together again, so that we can take a stand and fight against this thing that has been trying to keep us down. But nothing keeps us down. But we got to make that choice. We win or lose by how we choose.